Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Libra is for you. Remember, they're general readings. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you all on your path to your highest vibrational good. If you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. For your key to the week this week, you have the Hermit card, right? Okay, so in all of these different areas of life, on a more sort of practical level, you're being invited this week to take it back to basics, right? To uncomplicate things and to really bring it back to its component parts so that you can look at what needs to be adapted or adjusted. On a more sort of philosophical level, remember the Hermit card is about withdrawing from the world so that you can hear your own inner intuition or inner high priestess speak to you, right? So where is it that maybe things have gotten a bit too loud, or maybe you're taking on ideas and information or input from people that is actually spoiling your progress, right? There are times where we have to trust ourselves rather than whatever else is being said to us or shared with us. That's not to say don't have advisors. Trusted advisors are so important for all of us, right? People often say to me like, oh, do you read for yourself or do you have readers that you go to? And yes, absolutely, both, right? Because I've got really strong desires. I know that I don't want to sway those, and so there are times where readers need readers, right? Doctors don't make patients of themselves. Readers tend to outsource to other readers, right? It's an important part of the process, being able to step out of it and say, okay, you know what, let's take some guidance on. For your actions and options, you've got the Two of Wands. This is the kind of energy that you want here, right? So the decisions that you make this week really do need to be made for you, by you. This is not about doing things by committee, right? I'm not saying don't get advice. What I'm saying is don't let your final decisions this week, because it looks like you're making a choice. And it's almost like the tarot is saying to you, you have to make this choice on your own, right? And it's really important that you do. The options that are available to you are connections with potentially either very wealthy people or affluent situations and places. Excuse me. For your communications and conversations, this is so weird. So obviously I use a different deck for each sign, right? And what's really strange is that the Seven of Wands has come up a disproportionate amount of times for different signs. And what this tells me is on the wider world stage, there is something taking place. Now, because it's in the communication sector, this is likely to be a professional or an academic thing. It could be a worldwide communications thing, which is, my money's probably on that. I know as I'm recording this today, there's been an iPhone issue that's been widely reported. So maybe that's tarot picking up on that. But I think this will hit in the week that these are for. And I feel like this is something we're going to see on the wider world stage. Now, interestingly enough, in the body or health or healing matters, the Seven of Wands is the immune system. And I do believe that we will be hearing from the medical sector this week about people with lower immune systems. It may even be something along the lines of cures for AIDS, etc. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a few ways that this could go. But I'm definitely like, this is one of those weeks where I'm so intrigued by the fact that tarot has consistently come up with this card, and weirdly enough, consistently mostly in this position with different decks, right? I will be keeping an eye on the news this week because there's obviously something that's brewing. Now, when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the Seven of Wands with the Two of Wands, this is about getting the funding that you need. If that is the case, you're going to have to fight for it, right? What this means is If there is money that you want or money that you need that's going to support you, your business, or your studies, you are going to have to show up for it. It's not going to be enough to, flash some facts and figures. You have to really kind of show your passion. You've got to show why you're the right person for these funds or this, promise or this backing or whatever the case might be. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this with the Hermit card, you would think that seniority kind of gets you everything that you want and need. However, this week you might be getting a bit of a rude awakening to realize that you, even with your seniority in your job or in your current sphere, even you will still have to kind of work for it. You're going to have to show up in some regard. This isn't actually a bad thing, because I think it's going to keep you on your toes in the best kind of way. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is, again, it's like you're having to maybe, let's say there's an opportunity or an offer of work on the table, like a contract for your business. You will have to fight for it. It's not going to be enough to have a good reputation. It's not going to be enough to say like, oh, well, I've been in business 5 years. So, or however many years you've been in business, whatever the case might be, you will have to fight for it this week. And this, right, this Hermit card to infuse all of this is basically saying, keep it simple. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't have to have whistles and bells. It just has to convey the message that you are the right person for the job, for the contract, for the money, for the whatever it is that you need. If you are retired and no longer working for any reason, this is likely to be around somebody else's health that you might have to step in and play a supportive role. Watch out for that. For your love and relations, you've got the 5 of Pentacles. One way that this could show up is that a partner is losing a job. Another way that this could also show up is that your partner wants to make a financial move or commitment that you don't think is a good idea. If your intuition is telling you that this is not a good idea, then you should listen to that. However, if it's past experiences, and the reason I say this is because this might be the one time where actually your partner has it right. I'm not saying they have. What I'm saying is this is where the dispute between you and a partner is coming in, all right? And it does need to be looked at. If you need a set of extra eyes and ears, etc. on this, I would also go down that route as well. If you are single, you've got this opposite the Hermit card. If you're single and you're connecting with someone this week, it may be somebody who previously worked in the corporate sector and maybe burnt out or hit rock bottom. They're going to be really honest with you about the path that they have walked, right? Maybe they say to you, what, yeah, I earned, a shit ton of money. I had, I was living on the top of the world, living the fast life in the fast lane and all the rest of it, lost it all, rebuilding my life now. One thing that I will say to you, just because they are in that position now doesn't mean they always will be. This is somebody who is going to rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. I'm not saying that's a reason to stay with them. What I'm saying is what you see is very much what you get. They're being really honest with you about their entire journey. Don't judge them for it, right? Before we get into your money and materials, if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up to the LUNAR CUNA. All of the info is in the description box below. We're already gaining new members. It's really, I'm having a great time speaking to everybody on Telegram. Lots of good things coming up, lots of good ways of working with the energy. What can I say? I'm loving it. I'm really chuffed, because this is kind of like the realization of a lot of work and a bit of a long-held dream. So I'm excited by this. Be a part of it if you want to get in there. For your money and materials, you have the Knight of Wands, right? So the Knight of Wands tends to show, when it comes to money, this will be a boost to the finances, but it's only showing up sort of in the short term. It's a short-term boost to the money. You've got this with the Hermit card, and this is something that you do need to be mindful of. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this card can and will very often show up for inflammation in the body. And because you've got it with the Hermit card, this is speaking to inflammation of the gut and the stomach. I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice. This is not a diagnosis. diagnosis. But this week, if you're noticing gut inflammation and or issues, maybe go and get checked for yeast infection or candida or something along those lines. It's also possible as well that maybe you're needing to look at your diet this week for something that you're having an allergic reaction to. Finally, when it comes to your home and environment, the Knight of Wands is another one. Disproportionate amount of times it's shown up in this position. So whatever is going on, it's going to have something to do with the finance sector. Potentially, though, I think it's going to have something to do with the health sector. Because remember, money and materials is about your health, and the communications and conversations is about what's being shared, right? So on a global scale. I mean, obviously I do a weekly general, but I'm wondering if at this point it might be also prudent to start doing a world overview for this kind of reading. Let me know in the comments if you guys would want that, right? If you guys would support that, if it's something that you think might be a good idea. I like the stuff that I do to be community led, so let me know if that speaks to you and you think it's a good idea. Yeah, and then so that's for your health and vitality. And then for your home and environment, look, with the Hermit card here, it may very well be that you're not spending time at home this week, but you're also not spending time you're not spending time in you're not spending time in conventional places or spaces, and this can be very good for you because it's like the change of scenery gives you a change of perspective, and I think that's going to be really important this week for how you move forward with your plans. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.